Hey, everybody, it's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 10-ish minute review. Okay, first things first. I've taken a little bit of a hiatus, just a little bit. I'll explain why in a second. But first things first, I want to congratulate India for winning the T20 World Cup cricket match. That's right. India defeated South Africa 176-7, 169-8. They won by 7 runs. So congratulations. I also listen, I have to give a shout out to the US. I think they did far better than anyone thought they were going to do, including me. But it was fun. So congratulations, India. I couldn't be happier for you guys. I mean, look at that. I love you guys. There you go. So congrats. Very exciting stuff. Now, one other little thing I have to tell you about and why we took a little hiatus. Last week I was on vacation with my wife and some friends, and we were into our trip on the third day. And some of you know in the background, my two dogs, Presley and Fenway. Fenway's the black dog. Presley is the older, lighter dog. Well, while we were gone, Presley passed. And the good news is she passed in her sleep. So she went peacefully. We did not have to put her down. But Rose and I were pretty devastated by it because it was completely unexpected. We cut our vacation short. And frankly, we're still dealing with it. And anybody who owns a pet knows exactly what I'm talking about. So it's been a rough couple of days. So that's why I was on a little bit of a hiatus. But I'm back now, and I want to talk about the film I'm going to review. Now, I've been pandering to some of you loyal viewers, and one person has been begging me to watch this film, and this is El Koshi 807. And he's recommended films before, and I've liked them. And this one, he recommended Aavesham, Aavesham from 2024. And I think, is this a Malayalam film? I think this is a Malayalam film. I'm not 100% sure about that. I know it's not a Hindi film. So that's the one that I'm going to talk about. And this is a new film. This just recently came out. So, you know what? The truth is, you can't really spoil this film once I start explaining the film. Um, but I want to make sure. Let's see. Oh, I don't even have any of the. Well, look, I gotta look up something because usually I put who directed it, and I didn't do that with this one. Well, on my notes, I mean. So I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. Okay, so this was directed by Jithu Madhavan, and it stars one of my favorite actors, Fahadh Faasil, who I've seen in a bunch of stuff. Trance, Death and no, not Death and Gunge. Super Deluxe, which he was great. He was great in that movie. It also stars Hipzster. I don't. Mithun Jai Shankar and Roshan Shanavas. Now, the only person I recognized from this film was Fafa. I think that's what his nickname is. So, okay. So let's start with uh, the story. Um, oh, actually, there was something in the credits introducing roaring star Roshan. Very interesting credits here. So the story, you know what? I'm going to give the story a 2 because the story wasn't why you want to watch this film, and you do want to watch this film. The story was kind of there was a a threadbare of a story. And again, that's not why you want to watch this film. That's why I'm giving the story a 2 because there wasn't really much of a story. It was almost like a series of scenes kind of strung together. Um, and it's basically so these three kids go to a school, a university in a different city than where they're all from, and they start getting bullied by the seniors, like this group of, it's like this evil gang of students that if you don't do what they want, they really mess you up. Well, they get to the point where, there was one night where they got beat up pretty bad and they want revenge. And somehow they're connected and they end up meeting with Fafa's character, Ranga, who at the beginning you're not quite sure who he is. You just know that he's a big man because everybody caters to him. So through the course of the story, oh, by the way, I love this too. One of the students wore a Red Sox jersey, a Boston Red Sox jersey. So a little shout out to Boston there. Um, so the first time they meet Ranga, they're in the bathroom peeing, and he's standing next to them and lights his cigarette. It's very cool. He's very cool. Okay, so now there's the bar scene where this all happens, and that's 35 minutes into the film. Now the opening credits come out. That's something I've noticed in a couple of movies I've seen lately. And then because in the bar, this was a very funny movie, and we talk about tonal shifts in all these films, and how like these Malayalam and Telugu films tend to be a little more grounded than Hindi Bollywood films. This one was I don't know, it was really funny for most of the film, and even in the end when something pretty brutal happens, it's still done in kind of a humorous way. Um, so they this guy, this gangster, and he's a big gangster, ends up um kind of taking these kids under his wing and exacts revenge on the senior students. And then it becomes that they kind of do what he wants because if they don't, they're worried what will happen. That's basically what it is. And he's also this guy that promised his mother, Ranga, before he died, that he wouldn't hurt anybody. He wouldn't fight anybody. So whenever there's a fight, and the fight choreography is really good in this film. In fact, there's two brothers that are like karate guys, and those scenes are incredible. But when those fights happens, he doesn't fight. He directs it and tells everybody what to do, and that's part of the humor in it, right? Till he blows a gasket at the end, where we see who he really is. Um, there were some other things with the stories, like they're telling Amban, who's his right hand man, who's a very funny big guy. He's telling the story of Ranga, and it ends up he tells a story, and you think he's gonna, it's gonna be he killed people and he did this, he did that. It ends up being some kind of stock thing. He invested in stocks and did really well, which I thought was funny. Um, and then there's one scene. Look, the story's okay, so I'm not even going to get much into the plot because the plot's kind of stupid. I got to tell you, the reason why I want to watch this movie, I've never seen Fossil in anything like this. I mean, he was so funny in this movie, and his character was so over the top, but in a really good way. He was just he was likable. He was funny. Every now and then, his like anger, like they're playing this game, charades, and he's giving the clues, and the student and a girl can't get the answer, and you see his anger bubbling to the point that the two people think he's going to kill him if they don't get it right. And then once they get it right, all of a sudden it completely changes, and he's like laughing. Oh, good job, good job. I gave you such a good clue. But he's the reason why I want to watch this, and that's why I'll talk about the performances. Look, the performances were okay overall. I mean, the kids were, the three main kids. I mean, they were okay. They weren't great, but I give him, and I'm going to give the performances a 5 because of him. It's the reason why you want to watch this movie, and also his buddy there, his right hand man was very funny, and their relationship is really funny. But that's the reason why you want to watch it. If you've seen him in anything, this was so different than anything that I've seen. I mean, Super Deluxe is close because he did that drunk scene, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. But in this, it was just so his wardrobe. He comes out of the shower dancing. He does music videos. Just fantastic. So El Koshi, for that reason, I'm giving the performances a five because the whole movie revolves around him. Um, in the scene where, and again, he's funny the whole movie, but at the end, something bad enough happens where all these the head gangster that he was his mentor, who has turned against him, brings all his guys to Fafa's house to kill him, and that's when he becomes the old Ranga and takes them all down. And that scene is freaking intense. And he was great. I mean, again, the choreography in that is really good because he's a little guy. I mean, the Fafa is a little guy, but and that's with a hint of humor also. And then, he wants to kill because the kids turned on him and he wants to kill him. But then one of the kids' mothers calls, and that changes everything for Fafa. And now he wants him to go back to school. And when they flunk, and that's the ending of the movie, when they flunk, him and the gang have the big switches to beat him up. Just I just loved it. And I am a everybody knows Amir Khan. He's it for me. But I've grown to really appreciate a lot of other actors. And this guy, because he really is. I mean, the stuff he does is so different. And I've seen nothing like this. The music was, I mean, nothing stood out. There were a few dance numbers. Like at one point, all the thugs were dancing, all his gang was dancing, which I thought was really funny. His dancing in the shower and in the videos was funny. But the music was okay. I like it didn't stand out for me, so I gave the music a three. Um, I'm trying to think some of the other things that was really funny. Oh, when they played charades, I already talked about that. That was so funny the way the tension built. We thought he was going to kill him. Um, and then the final ambush had great, great fighting. Um, and then as he's screaming at them, like you think he's gonna kill them after they betrayed him, and then he screams at them. They wish them all the best, which was I thought was funny. Um, and then they did one song that kind of stood out at the end. It was called Illuminati, but it was animated, which was funny. Um, so the music, I mean, the music was a three. That's kind of neutral for me. Overall, I'm going to give the movie a four, even though I thought the story was non-existent. But just his performance. Sometimes you watch a movie and it's a single performance that, this is why you want to watch the movie. This is one of them. He was so good in this and so funny and so different. I know I keep saying that, but it just, I'm going to give the overall movie a four. I really enjoyed this and it went by fast. It's not a long movie, but the pace of it is fast. Once you meet Ranga, a little slow at first, but they got to build it up because they're trying to give you background on the three students. But once Ranga shows up, it's great. So El Koshi, 807. Good call. I hope you're happy I did this. I'm glad you were persistent. Okay, so that's it. So again, India, congratulations. World Cup champions, USA, I'm proud of you. You did a good job, better than anyone thought, I think. Also, say a little prayer for my precious Presley. She was a great dog. Um, she was just great, and I miss her. And all dogs go to heaven. So there's where she is. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm gonna get a couple. I'll probably get four done this week. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. It really does make a difference in the YouTube algorithm. And that's it. So we'll talk to you soon with another 10-ish minute review. Bye, Presley. Bye, buddy.